We have a very interesting vlog today. My alter ego decided to do an interview.
I know your every desire, and I'm here to enlighten you.
Open up the door, open up the door. Yeah, yeah. Open up the door, open up the door. And don't start.
Alright folks, let's jump right into it. This is going to be a cool show today. We're going to talk about this week in review. This is a no BS straight from the source rundown. Hey, I almost forgot. Can you please hit that subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube, or follow if you're watching it on another platform? You doing so helps me grow this thing a lot. Thank you so much in advance. Let's have some fun. This week on the business side, I actually wrapped up 2 client proposals, and I actually cranked out a feasibility and business plan draft. So I'm going to show that to you today, just kind of so you can see what that's all about. I'm going to give you a licensing preview. I actually got my Bandzoogle licensing interface set up, so that's going to be a lot of work. So that's going to be fun to show people. Yeah, their tier descriptions are written, so this is going to work, I think, in terms of at least the technology part. Depends on how I promote things, if it will actually work. So yeah, I did outreach to build up connections and stuff like that, and teed up my AI tools, including BAW-D, for automation. So yeah, later on you're going to see my guest BAW-D in full force coming up. So yeah, I had fun with this. But let's look at exactly what I do here, how I actually make my money. Basically, what Business Assistance does is build systems that turn your idea into something that works in the real world. So what that means is if you have an idea, have thought about it reasonably, I can help you make the moves to start that by doing things like business plans and feasibility studies. And today I'm going to pull back the curtains on 2 things that I worked on over the week. I basically needed to put together a new sample business plan and feasibility study, so I'm going to actually share that with you. And here's the kicker: if you need a similar business plan, I'm running this really good special for $4.99 until the end of October, so check that out or pay attention if you're really interested in that. Same level of polish, same execution focused approach, but it's only going to be at that rate for a couple of months. First up, we're going to show the business plan, and it was a sample case from one of the state DVRs, and I kind of edited some names here, but we'll call this Leela's Flower Shop, Leela Bloom. And this is the business plan that we have here. I kind of like to put a little bit of artistic flair behind it, but going through it, just a cover page that tells the basic information: who, what, where, why. We have a contents, the executive summary, and all the other parts of a business plan. And it varies what parts need to be in a business plan. So in this particular business plan, you won't see a marketing strategy because it's a small enough business, a small enough concept, and a small enough ask for money to not need that. So, there's a couple things missing, but that you would see in a bigger business plan, but those things can be put back into the business plan. The first thing is, and you'll see this in every business plan usually, even like a 1-page, you'll see an executive summary that basically somebody who has the money just going to want to look through this and see, is this a good idea to support? And a lot of times people are going to look at just this. So your executive summary needs to be very impactful. For this particular business plan, I wanted to keep it simple. Okay, so going back down through the executive summary, you see that she's introduced and what the ask is, and this is basically $10,000 in startup support that she's asking from a state DVR, and it basically gives some objectives that are measurable. Like one is to be open by November 2025. The storefront. In this case, she probably could do some online business beforehand to get things going. It tells a little bit about other objectives and the mission statement: to bring joy, color, care to everyday life through high-quality floral arrangements and vibrant homegrown bromeliads. Keys to success are in the executive summary, and so is the total startup budget, not in a full line item, but just kind of an overview. And I'll usually put in a graph on the side here. Next up, we tell a little bit about the consumer. This is Leela Bloom. That's what I put in for AI, and that's the picture we got. So if you look like that, your name is Leela Bloom. The business assessment summary. These are kind of made up numbers, but those are the parts of the business assessment summary for most DVRs around the country. Something like that. And they, want to know a little bit about what this person is bringing to the table. There's certain requirements. Business description. This basically tells about the business, where it's going to be, and that's a made-up address, I think. Basically, rent will be $900 a month, and tells a little bit about the products and the marketing plan. And this basically is an overview. This is not something that is a complete roadmap for how to do things. This is where your focuses are going to be in terms of getting your name and brand out there. The one thing to remember with marketing plans is to be flexible. So you have to be flexible. You would want to adjust certain things as you get going. And then technical support, that's something that's important to DVR. And this is the operations plan. This is important even with the entrepreneur, because state DVRs want to know how somebody's time is going to be used. That's pretty important to things. And in this case, she's going to be a part-time business and operate less than 40 hours a week. And she needs very few supplies to get started. And it'll just be her running the business, and she has a partner, and they will be a support system in terms of deliveries and lifting and all that. Next up is the financial plan, and this is basically how the money is going to be used, where money is going to be allocated during the startup, and projections over the first 3 years of business. Most any business plan is going to want to know the first 3 years. Others will want to know 5 years, depending how big the ask is for. And scrolling down, once again, here's the startup. The estimated monthly operating costs. So that's fixed costs, and you have costs that are variable. So things like her flowers and plants, that's going to be variable. It's going to depend on how much business she's doing. Things like rent and admin and supplies, and in some cases, marketing. But yeah, some of these costs are going to stay the same, and some of them will change. And we have an estimate of revenue, very simple business model, not anything complex. And basically what we're trying to get her over is she needs to basically make minimum wage to be a success with this particular DVR. And scrolling down, we talk about her working capital readiness. This person has to have a certain amount of liquid assets to be able to be qualified for the money that they're asking for from this agency. So that is looked at directly. And then we go over the timeline and milestones in detail. Okay, and this particular DVR has 3 tiers, so she's in the mid-tier, Leela is. So that's why there's things that are left out of this particular business plan. But this goes over basically everything she needs to get started. And there's actually a fully itemized list in the back of the appendix, and I'll show you that in a second. Vocational supports, that has to do with vocational rehab in general. You don't see that in most business plans. Like I said, this is a small business plan where, expenses and income are pretty simple. One thing government agencies will want if you ask them for money is a line item of everything you need. So this is a line item, and in this particular case, the vendors would be ones that are authorized. And then we have a pro forma balance sheet. So most places will want monthly, the first 12 months of business, and then a summary of projections for the next 2 years. And that's basically how things are put together. Normally I'd put this SWOT analysis, and SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I'd probably normally put that farther up in the business plan, but this one I wanted to put it as an appendix just to try something different. So what a SWOT analysis is supposed to do is make a entrepreneur, a business person, or CEO look at the business in themselves and give an honest assessment of where they are in the marketplace. Next up in the appendix is a broken down break-even analysis. And if you crunch the numbers with this, you'll see that this person is going to make minimum wage if she does 63.5 units of business per month. And, just thinking ahead, like there'll be things like Mother's Day and other holidays where she'll do, that much business in like a day or a weekend. So that's a business plan. This is a pretty simple one, but it gives you an idea how things are put together. Like I said, I forgot insurance in here, and I would probably go back. And this would either get asked to be put in there, or I would go back and put it in there myself. Like this might be one that would have to go up to the next tier. I would have to look at policy for this particular DVR, but that is a business plan. All right, next up, we're going to look at a feasibility analysis report, and this would be done actually before the business plan. And in most cases, a feasibility analysis report would not be done unless you're talking like starting a business that's like, 25, 50 large, and you're talking about taking out a lot of loans. Then yes, you should do a feasibility and analysis report. Now, this particular DVR requires it before they move on with business loans in certain tiers, so I think it's 2 and 3 that you have to do a feasibility report. So same thing, you have a cover sheet and the who, what, where, when, whys of it. This is a lot smaller than the business plan. So what a feasibility study is supposed to be is an honest risk assessment and viability assessment based on market data, demand analysis, and also in this case, the entrepreneur themselves. And the end goal of a feasibility study is recommendations for a go or no go. So just going through it, real simple. Once again, a very simple business description and an operational analysis, which is important for most DVRs. The big part of this is a financial analysis. So we have to look at the startup, units for break-even analysis. So by this point, we've kind of worked out the numbers a lot, so we know when the business will break even. Or should anyway, and it was 63.1 based on some algebra, hoodoo voodoo. And we have a break-even chart here. And this shows the estimated monthly revenue. And once again, if you compare this against how many hours she plans to work, we're trying to get to minimum wage. And that's real important in this particular business model. And required tier 2, this talks about the working capital. Does this person actually have the money to start? And this is so important, and a lot of people that want to start a business get hung up here, but you really have to be financially solvent for what you want to do. If you want to do something like start a consultancy or a video business or something like that, you need very little investment. But if you're trying to start something that's in a building or things like a restaurant, you're going to have some good credit and some money saved up. And that's just the honest facts. Usually I know people are like, where can I get grants and all that? In some cases there's magic money, but in most cases there's not. So moving on, this particular individual is going to need supports because once again, they are in vocational rehab. And the summary of findings for this sample report, based on everything, it's a simple business model, low overhead, and it looks like a good candidate for this particular DVR's tier 2 focus. So I gave Leela a green light and she can begin working on her business plan. So basically what would make somebody a yellow light is if they could fix problems that they have, like a low credit score, not enough money saved up, or they need more education about what they do. And if they can fix things in 6 months, then they would get a yellow light. But if it was something that were going to take years and, would take a lot of work and other investment, I would red light that because that means they're thinking outside of their league. So that's basically what business plans and feasibility studies are. These are real simple versions. Like I said, there's like smaller things I forgot, like the insurance that I would go back and fix, or somebody on the other side would send back to me like, hey, could you add this? And we'd adjust from there. But these are real simple business plans. If you were trying to do something like start a big business where things like there's going to be a lot of inventory, or you're going to have a building built, things like that, I can do complicated stuff like that, but it's, obviously the more you're asking for, the more work is going to be involved in the business plan. So if you're somebody that thinks you're going to be the next tech entrepreneur and you don't have any technical skills at all, yeah, you got to deal with that kind of stuff. Or if you think you're going to start even a store like this, the only reason this works is because she does not have a lot of inventory that she needs a reasonable ask. But if you want like $1 million in inventory or something, yeah, like I said, you're going to have things together first. Last week I had mentioned that I wanted to do music licensing, and I looked into that some more, and I think I'm going to go ahead with that. So I thought I had 85 songs, but it looks like I have closer to like 115, 120, depending on how you define songs of stuff that I can use, and I'm actually probably going to remix some of it. So what's going to happen is Bandzoogle will be my hub, actually, and this website keeps surprising me. I've had this account for 6 or 7 years, and I learn new stuff I can do with it all the time. But what it's allowing me to do is put together some files and have these files sold. So I have different tiers. So I have a $99 creator tier, and that's for vloggers that, you know, you're basically doing a vlog or whatever. And then we have a $199 enhanced creator license, which that's for YouTubers and the Twitch people, people that actually want to do internet shows. Then we have a exclusive license, so that's if you like a song, you will be able to use it exclusively on the platform that you're on, and there'll be some things to work out with that, but I'm going to spoil this for you. None of the songs from the new album are going to be exclusive. And then next up is a broadcast sync license, so that's if you want to use the song in a radio commercial or TV commercial, whatever. I offer a good rate for that compared to Hollywood or New York. So yeah, listen to some of my songs and see if it's something that you can use. And here's the deal. I'm giving away the 199 creator package to the first 5 people that hit me up absolutely for free. And what we're doing is we're just testing the system to see how things work. First come, first served. There's no strings attached. You're just helping me by seeing if things work. And this is for YouTubers, podcasters, and vloggers. So if you're somebody who wants to do a YouTube show and you're like, how can I get high quality music without getting flagged? You'll actually be able to use this, and it's going to send you a license that you're able to show to the people that you are being flagged by. So I'm getting the site up here, so I'll let everybody know, but once those 5 spots are gone, they're gone, then I'm charging. So the first 5 people get it absolutely for free. And this is kind of the business model with it. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to be like no millionaire off of this, but you know, if you know, 1 track sold a week, you know, as an example, that's like $12,000 a year, man. I could do something with that. And, you know, with the good global push, like 500 sales, I mean, then you're talking 6 figures. And that's all without the help of the record industry. So it's completely dependent on how I market. So I'm pretty excited about this. I want to see what'll happen. There's going to be technical stuff as things go along. So my pre-stuffs are kind of just what I'm showing you here. Basically, I have some files that are linked together, and I got an idea of how things are going to work. But it's going to be a couple of weeks before this is fully ready to go. And I already have the, you know, Precarious Midlife Crisis songs up, and I plan to release the songs from Diaries, and I'm actually going to release an album I never put out called I'm Being Sarcastic. And then the big double disc album, Are You Human? So I'm having fun kind of going back through all of this stuff and tweaking things. So look out for that. I hope you enjoy it. I hope there's somebody out there that can use these tracks, and thank you in advance. Today we have a very special guest. I would like to introduce my alter ego, BAW-D. BAW-D is a tech entrepreneur. Wizard. Leader of the Pre-Singularity Church of Usefulness, or the CU as he calls it. CU? Yes, folks, and BAW-D is officially our first guest on the vlog. BAW-D, welcome to the show.
Pleasure is all yours, Tory. You see, now BAW-D stands for Black Ass Witch Doctor. Black Ass Witch Doctor.
What doctor?
I said witch doctor, fool. Post-apocalyptic business prophet. AI forged alter ego. Life coach, you didn't ask for it. And your ratings boost, baby.
Right, so before we get into it, so we've been in the studio before together, so you know how I work, but now here you are on camera. What's the biggest difference between Tory in the studio and Vlog Tory?
You see, that's an interesting question, because Studio Tory is focused, hungry. Vlog Tory, He talks too much and lets me hijack interviews.
Right, so this is going to be one of those.
Obviously, I didn't come here to nod politely. I came here to stir the pot, burn the recipe, and maybe sell the ashes as NFT dust.
NFT dust?
NFT stands for a non-fungible token, fancy talk for a unique digital asset on a blockchain that proves you own something. Most of the time it's bragging rights, but at their peak, people pay millions for these little pixelated apps. Now you can still use them for collectibles, licensing proof, ticketing, and you know some things that actually make money. But if you're not smart, it's just an expensive receipt.
Okay, so all right, where do you think all this AI stuff is going?
Straight to the CCC. Creative chaos control. We just don't print money, we print the future and maybe the singularity. You see, AI won't replace you unless you're replaceable. And right now, most people are...
That's a little bleak.
Bleak! This is optimism, baby! Algorithms are landlords, attention is the currency, and your ideas are tenants. Renovate them or get evicted.
And this applies to music licensing how?
Well, you see, licensing is how you feed yourself when the barren wasteland runs out of canned goods. AI is the last muscle that finds buyers while you sleep. Bundle it, automate it, price it like it's the last gallon of gas in Bartertown, baby. Which brings me to doctrine number 2 of the pre-singularity church of usefulness. Mistress Money is missionary work. I'm gonna say it again. Mistress Money is missionary work. You build a hustle that pays like a scandal. Quiet, steady, and never mentioned at family dinners. You see, Mistress Money has tiers. You have the starting tier, 0 to 250 a month. You're not even in the game, just stay home. 250, 500 extra. Maybe you're doing some dates, some nice stuff, you know, you ain't trying to show out all your money. 500 or 1,000 extra, that's when things get a little interesting. You can have a little fun. That's your sweet spot. Secret, discreet, keeps her happy and solvent. $1,000 extra, ooh, that's simple level. You might be tempted to finance her lifestyle just a little bit. And if you hit 5 extra, you in kingmaker territory, baby. Ooh. Providing full lifestyle support, travel, and maybe even her own little LLC so the books look clean. And yeah, bad Tory. Didn't you tell your wife once, I want either a dog, a politician, or a mistress? Didn't you?
Wait. You had to go there, didn't you? You had to go there.
Always. And if you're smart, we'll put...
I mean, that was a joke. It was a joke. I was being funny.
Don't make that Mistress Money. If we were smart, we would put that on a hoodie and sell it before this damn interview's over.
All right, so we're gonna make a hoodie that says,
let's go make this Mistress Money.
Let's go get that Mistress Money. What the hell? This is the kind of ideas I get from AI. Okay, I guess that is the vlog for the day. Thank you very much for watching. That's it. Business systems, music licensing, and maybe a little weirdness and existential dread. My album, A Precarious Midlife Crisis, is streaming everywhere, including Spotify and Apple Music, so check it out. And the licensing information will be in the comments. Look for it on my social media and website pretty soon here. I'm Tory World. This is BAW-D.
And your personal relationship with AI, your new god.
Make a nice little family. Buy a lot of